Imagine stepping into a machine, pressing a button, and instantly traveling back in time. You arrive in 1865, just moments before Abraham Lincoln walks into Ford's Theater. Would you stop him? Would you warn him of the tragedy that awaits? Or would you let history unfold as it did? Or what if you found yourself in 1939, right as Hitler prepares to invade Poland? Could you stop the war before it begins? What if you landed in 1963 and warned President Kennedy about the assassination plot in Dallas? The questions pile up, don't they? Could you change the future if you altered the past? Perhaps the bigger question, should you? The consequences of these actions could be far greater than we imagine. Time travel has been the stuff of science fiction for as long as we can remember. But what if it wasn't all just fantasy? What if some of history's greatest minds truly believed that altering the timeline was possible? Today, we're going to explore the real science behind time travel, the paradoxes that come with it, and the history we could have rewritten if we only had the chance. Hold tight, because by the end of this video, you might start looking at the past, present, and future in a whole new way. Let's start with the most basic question. Can we really travel through time? When we think of time travel, we usually picture a machine, perhaps one with a glowing flux capacitor, zooming through time. But, believe it or not, the science behind it isn't entirely fictional. Albert Einstein's theory of relativity tells us that time is not a constant. It's relative. That means time behaves differently depending on how fast you're moving. The closer you travel to the speed of light, the slower time moves for you compared to someone standing still. So in theory, if you were to hop into a spaceship and travel close to the speed of light for a year, when you return to Earth, more than a year would have passed for everyone else, meaning, in a sense, you'd have traveled through time. But here's the kicker. Even though time dilation sounds like it could be the key to time travel, it's not as simple as hopping on a fast spaceship. The energy required to move at light speed is so immense that we need a power source far beyond anything we currently have. Then there's the concept of wormholes, which are theoretical shortcuts through space and time. Imagine folding a piece of paper so that two distant points touch. This is the idea behind a wormhole. It could allow someone to travel from one point in time to another almost instantaneously. It's mind-boggling, but it's also incredibly unstable. Even if we could create a wormhole, it would collapse almost immediately. So unless we find a way to stabilize these time tunnels, time travel remains a distant dream. So, while time travel sounds amazing, it's not something we're going to be doing on our morning commute anytime soon. But that doesn't mean history hasn't tried to rewrite itself. Let's consider real-life moments where history almost changed. Think of Operation Valkyrie, the assassination attempt on Hitler in 1944. What if the German officers who plotted to kill him had succeeded? The ripple effect would have been massive. World War II may have ended years earlier, saving millions of lives. And what about the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962? Tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union were at an all-time high. And for a moment, it seemed like nuclear war was inevitable. But there was one man, Vasily Arkhipov, who, at the moment when the Soviet fleet was about to launch nuclear missiles, refused to authorize the strike. One decision, one moment. And because of him, the world avoided a nuclear catastrophe. It's incredible to think that a single moment, a single person can change the course of history. So why not use time travel to fix our mistakes, to make history better? Well, here's the catch. If time travel were possible, would we really be able to change anything without causing unintended consequences? Take, for example, the grandfather paradox. If you traveled back in time and prevented your grandfather from meeting your grandmother, would you ever be born? If you were never born, how could you have traveled back in time in the first place? It's a mind-bending paradox, and it raises the question, could we even exist in a world where time travel was possible? And what about the butterfly effect? Even the smallest change in the past could send shockwaves through the future, creating a chain of events we could never predict. Imagine stepping on a bug in the Jurassic era. Fast forward millions of years, and suddenly, in our present day, the world is a very different place. Maybe even one where dinosaurs still roam the earth. It's not hard to see how a seemingly insignificant change could spiral out of control, leading to unpredictable and possibly catastrophic results. So, the question remains, if time travel were a reality, would we be able to control the chaos it could cause? Or would we end up making things worse than they were before? History, it turns out, is a delicate thing. A fragile web of interconnected events, where one minor change could bring everything crashing down. Maybe the timeline we have right now is the one we were always meant to follow. After all, if time travel were possible, how would we even know what history we've altered or what the original timeline truly looked like? But what if I told you that there's one historical event, a pivotal moment in World War II, that is still clouded in mystery? The Battle of the Coral Sea. This battle altered the course of the Pacific War, and yet many of the details remain shrouded in uncertainty. What truly happened there, and what could have been different if the battle had played out another way? Well, if you're curious to find out the full story, I invite you to click the link on your screen and watch my next video, where we dive deep into the Battle of the Coral Sea and uncover what really happened during that crucial turning point in history.